Hello everyone. In today's lecture we will discuss about carbocation rearrangements and we will see an example in case of Pinacon-Pinacone rearrangement reactions. So coming to carbocation rearrangements. So there is one type of rearrangement that is called as Wagner-Mervin rearrangement. So we will discuss such type of sigmatropic rearrangements also here. Let me start the discussion with carbocation rearrangement systems. Regarding carbocation rearrangements. During any reaction, if the formal carbocation is less stable or unstable, then it tries to rearrange either by changing the carbon skeleton or without changing the carbon skeleton to form more stable carbocations. During any reaction, if a carbocation form is less stable or unstable, if it may be either less stable or unstable, then it rearranges either by changing carbon skeleton or not. Or just migrating hydrogen. That means without changing carbon skeleton. When hydrogen migrates, there is no change in carbon skeleton. If any methyl group or phenyl system or ethyl system, if any carbon system migrated, then there will be change in carbon skeleton. So either by changing carbon skeleton or just by migrating hydrogen, it forms more stable carbocation. So this what happens during carbocation rearrangements. During a reaction, if a carbocation formed is less stable or unstable, then it rearranges to form more stable carbocation. That rearrangement may occur either by changing carbon skeleton or without changing carbon skeleton. If there is no change in carbon skeleton, means just a hydrogen atom migrated. Right. So this is nothing but a type of sigmatropic shift or sigmatropic rearrangement. If it is particularly 1-2 sigmatropic rearrangement, then we call it as Wagner-Mervin shift. If it is cationic 1-2 sigmatropic shift from first position to second position. So if it is a 1-2 sigmatropic rearrangement, then we call it as Wagner-Mervin rearrangement. Wagner-Mervin rearrangement or Wagner-Mervin shift. Right? This is named after a scientist. He is a Russian chemist. His name is Yegor Egorowitch Wagner. So that's why we call it as Wagner rearrangement or Yegor rearrangement. Right. So it is thermodynamically allowed pericyclic process. So this is thermodynamically allowed pericyclic process. Right. So let us see some examples of such type of rearrangement where the obtained carbocation is less stable, then it has to undergo rearrangement. So let me see such type of examples. First let me see about hydride shift, or let me call it as 1,2 hydride shift. H minus is nothing but hydride. 1,2 hydride shift. So let me see this with an example. Consider an alcohol, a primary alcohol, allowed to react with acid. So this is allowed to react with concentrated H2SO4. Already we know concentrated H2SO4 or fuming sulfuric acid is a dehydrating agent. It tries to abstract H2O. So from here you have to lose H2O. Because H2SO4 provide H plus ions. Oxygen, as it having two lone pairs, it tries to donate one lone pair, getting OH2 plus. That leads to elimination of H2O, finally forming a carbocation. So now you will get a carbocation, primary carbocation. We know primary carbocations are less stable than secondary, than tertiary. So among carbocations, tertiary carbocation must be more stable due to hyperconjugations, or if there is any resonance, or if there is any octet formation, then carbocations become stable. Now in this case, so there is a formation of carbocation at this position. Let me call it as 1 and this as 2. So there is shift of H minus ion from, of course here there are two hydrogens. So from second position there is shift of one H minus hydride ion to first position. That's why we call it as shift between 1 and 2. So 1 2 shift, right? So due to 1 2 shift, 1,2 hydride ion shift, H minus shift, hydride shift, right? Now this lead to secondary carbocation. So we got a secondary carbocation here. We know secondary carbocations are more stable than primary carbocations, right? Now the water molecules which has lost earlier, they try to donate lone pair of electrons now. Then you may get alcohol, or it may lead to elimination. So that depends upon the concentration of H2SO4 provided, or that depends upon the temperature provided. If you are heating, it always prefer to elimination. When you provide dilute H2SO4 but you have heated it, it prefers elimination. If you provided concentrated H2SO4, it prefer elimination. If you provide dilute H2SO4 without heating, then it prefer a rearrangement or substitutions, right? Now coming to this, so here we are discussing about concentrated H2SO4 or dilute H2SO4 on strong heating. So that leads to elimination product. So here the obtained product will be, right? So there will be one hydrogen here. So this HSO4 minus ion now acting as a base, it tries to abstract this H plus, then this bond got shifted here. So this lead to formation of an alkene. Of course we call it as Sedgev product or Zaitsev product, Zaitsev or Sedgev, both are same. So this is the product obtained, which is nothing but major. Of course minor product, that is Hoffman product, is also possible, but that is in minor quantity, right? So in order to form Hoffman product, no need to migration also, directly we can form Hoffman product. For example, see here in this case, here there is loss of H plus, which has been abstracted by HSO4 minus, and concentrated H2SO4 is obtained back. So here also there may be possibility of losing H plus. So this lead to formation of minor product, that is Hoffman product. This is nothing but Hoffman. So irrespective of whatever the alkene formed, we are not bothered about final products obtained, just we are here discussing about hydride shift. So first we got primary carbocation, now hydride H minus ion got shifted to primary position, forming secondary carbocation. As secondary carbocation is more stable, 1-2 shift is possible. Now let me see another case. 1,2 methyl shift, or 1,2 phenyl shift, etc. Right. So let me see about 1,2 methyl shift as well as phenyl shift, whatever it is. Let me check about it. So 1,2, instead of hydrogen, there may be shift with methyl system or phenyl system. That means change in carbon skeleton. Whereas when there is a shift of hydrogen, when H minus got shifted, there is no change in skeleton of carbon, that remained as it is. Now we are seeing an example where there is change in carbon skeleton. So let me call this as 1,2 phenyl shift, or we will see 1,2 methyl shift. That means there is change in carbon skeleton. Right. So let me take an example. So we are considering a tertiary system. So simultaneously let me check with compare with phenyl shift as well as methyl shift also. Let me take a benzene ring here, right? So and an alkene. Now if this is allowed to react with dilute H2SO4, when you have provided dilute H2SO4, that means we are providing H plus ions, right? And also sufficient amount of water. So alkenes, when allowed to react with dilute H2SO4, it leads to formation of alcohols through carbocation mechanism. So let me check that here. So first H plus will be approaching, and this pi bond will be donated to that H plus ion. So first there will be H plus, and this pi bond will be donated towards this H plus, leading to the formation of a carbocation. So here we got a carbocation, CH3 carbo. So this is a phenyl ring, CH3, and there is a secondary carbocation generated. Now there is a competition between phenyl shift as well as methyl shift. So let me check about phenyl shift first. So this pi bond got shifted from here to here. So we call this as phenyl shift, 1,2 phenyl shift. When this happened, CH3, CH3, and you will get a 3-membered system. You get a 3-membered system because this bond got shifted. This is a phenyl ring, and you have positive charge here because that pi bond got shifted, right? Now this bond cleaves out, this bond got migrated from here to here to form more stable carbocation. Let me check that the more stable carbocation obtained. So here the obtained carbocation is CH3 carbon plus CH3, and this is the carbon on which the phenyl ring got shifted now, and this is the methyl group which is present from the beginning. Now as you are using dilute H2SO4, now water molecules will attack over the system. H2O will donate lone pair of electrons, and simultaneously there will be loss of H plus ion, so that oxygen regains its lone pair of electrons, leading to the product formation. First H2O will donate lone pair of electrons, followed by loss of H plus to this carbon. Now that leads to formation of alcohol. So obtained alcohol will be a tertiary alcohol. So here there is a migration of phenyl system. So we call this as 1,2 phenyl shift, right? So this is nothing but 1,2 phenyl shift. Now if at the same time, instead of phenyl shift, if there is a methyl shift, so let me bother about 1,2 methyl shift. Here let me consider about 1,2 methyl shift. There is competition between them. Whichever forms a more stable carbocation, that is preferred, or whichever case the migration is easier, that leads to product formation. So let me consider. So if there is 1,2 methyl shift, that means this methyl group got shifted. This methyl group got shifted from here to here, right? So this is 1,2 methyl shift, whereas the earlier one is 1,2 phenyl shift. So when there is a methyl shift that lead to product formation, the obtained product will be CH3 carbon, phenyl system remains as it is here, formation of carbocation here, and this becomes 2 CH3 groups on that carbon because of methyl CH3 minus got shifted there. So this is the product obtained. Now similarly here also there will be water molecules has been donating lone pair of electrons. So H2O donate its lone pair of electrons to positively charged carbon. Simultaneously there will be loss of H plus to regain its lone pair of electrons. Now it leads to formation of alcohol. Of course it is also a tertiary alcohol, but it is in conjugation with phenyl ring. So you got CH3 carbon, phenyl system, OH here, and CH3 CH3. So these are the two products. So in one case there is 1,2 phenyl shift, and in the next condition there is methyl shift, right? So whichever is more stable, that is the case leading to the product formation. So we need to check where carbocation rearrangement is leading to more stable carbocation. That means where there is a migration of a system leading to more stable carbocation, right? So we are not bothered about migrating aptitude of systems here. Here we are considering about formation of more stable carbocation, right? So when there is 1,2 phenyl shift, carbocation obtained is tertiary carbocation. Only hyperconjugations exist as well as plus I effect. So this is the first case. Now in the second case, this is the carbocation obtained. It is also tertiary carbocation. There is a conjugation with phenyl system, benzyl carbocation, as well as hyperconjugations. So as the carbocation obtained is showing resonance, so obviously that becomes more stable. So this carbocation is more stable than the earlier one. So relatively this is more stable. So relatively this is the major product obtained. So 1,2-phenyl shift as well as methyl shift, which is favored here. So here methyl shift is favored. So if you see migrating aptitudes, obviously phenyl group will migrate more readily than methyl group. Later we will discuss that part later. During phenolone rearrangements we will discuss about it in detail. So here we are bothered about only formation of more stable carbocations, nothing else, right? So here the obtained carbocation is more stable in the second case, so methyl shift is more preferred than phenyl shift. That's all. Now let me see another example. When there is only pure methyl shift, so there is no competition, right? So whenever there is competition, we will discuss the conditions which prefer, right? So we are discussing purely about 1,2-methyl shift, purely methyl shift, nothing else. There is no competition at all. 1,2-methyl shift. So let me discuss it with an example. If I consider only methyl substituents, so CH3, CH3, CH2, instead of OH, let me take NH2. Nitrogen has lone pair. Now, if I have seen a diazotization reaction, diazotization means either you have to use NaNO2 in presence of HCl, or you can take HNO2, of course followed by heating, right? This lead to elimination of N2 gas, right? So forming the respective product. We will see what happens when I use HNO2 or NaNO2 in presence of HCl, or after completion of this reaction we will discuss how the mechanism happens. So this lead to product formation. Here first there will be formation of diazonium salt. So CH3, CH3, CH2, En triple bond En plus Cl minus or something like that. So you got diazonium salt. We call this as a diazotization reaction. So I have seen here diazotization reaction. When amines are allowed to react with HNO2 or NaNO2 in presence of HCl, it leads to diazonium product. I am repeating again. When amines are allowed to react with NaNO2 in presence of HCl or HNO2, it leads to diazonium salts, particularly primary amines, right? So here this is a primary amine, NiH2 attached to only one carbon, so it is a primary amine. So this diazonium salt readily loses nitrogen. Loss of nitrogen is the driving force here, so that N2 gas is lost either by heating or based upon the system. If it is a phenyl system, no need to heat. If it is alkyl system, acyclic system, then we need to heat it. So on heating, it leads to primary carbocation. So the obtained carbocation is CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH2 plus. So we got a carbocation. So after getting carbocation, obviously there will be methyl shift. So irrespective of any carbon, so just a shift that methyl system. So we call it as 1,2 methyl shift, 1,2 methyl shift. So because of 1,2 methyl shift, we got a tertiary carbocation. So we got tertiary carbocation, which is more stable. So carbocation rearrangements always occur to form more stable carbocation than the earlier, right? If the newly obtained carbocation is not much stable, so there doesn't lead to any rearrangements. If and only the obtained new carbocation is more stable than the earlier, carbocation rearrangements are possible. Now this is how we got tertiary carbocation. If this carbocation is allowed to react with, if this is allowed to react with water, if this is allowed to react with water, it leads to formation of alcohol. Water followed by loss of H plus ions. When oxygen donated lone pair, you got positive charge. That positive charge will be lost by regaining its electrons, right? So we will get alcohol. So obtained product will be CH3, C, CH3, OH, CH2, CH3. So this is the product obtained because of 1,2-methyl shift. If instead of water, if I have used any halide, let me take I minus, or let me take some X minus. So if I provide X minus, you will get X minus will attack on this carbocation, leading to formation of a halogen. So we got a methyl here and we got a halogen here, CH2, CH3. Of course, obtained products will be racemic mixture because carbocations are sp2 hybridized and they are planar. As they are planar, they lead to formation of products, that is racemic products, because this oxygen can be donating lone pair electrons either from front side or from back side, either from top or from bottom, right? That leads to racemic products. Of course, here the carbon is not chiral. As this is not chiral, we don't bother about the racemic mixture. Here we are just getting some product. Instead of methyl, if I have taken ethyl here, then you should get racemic mixtures. Now, if we have heated it, on heating, there will be loss of H plus, leading to formation of alkene, right? So again, Sedgwick product, Hoffman product, two possibilities are there. So we are discussing about major product, so you will get major product, that is Sedgwick product as major, CH. So we are not bothered about the products obtained here, just we are discussing about 1,2-methyl shift. So here when you are getting primary carbocation, this is the primary carbocation generated. This primary carbocation involved in 1,2-methyl shift to form tertiary carbocation, which is more stable, right? This is regarding an example of 1,2-methyl shift. We have seen 1,2-hydride shift to form more stable carbocation, 1,2-phenyl shift, 1,2-methyl shift, right? In all these cases, a less stable carbocation is rearranged to more stable carbocation. Let me check another example. If I have taken any neopentane or neopentyl alcohol, neopentyl halide, so any neopentyl system where there is some sort of rearrangement, so let me call it as neopentyl rearrangement process. Neopentyl rearrangement. If I have taken a neopentyl halide, so CH3, C, CH3, 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 this is called neopentane, right? So we are taking neopentyl halide. If this is allowed to react with any solvent, a polar solvent or polar protic solvent. If I have taken polar protic solvent, here Br is a good leaving group, bromine is a good leaving group, and H2O is a non-iron, that means a polar solvent, right? Then it prefers SN1 mechanism. It prefers SN1 mechanism. During SN1 mechanism, there will be formation of carbocation first. Now carbocation rearranges, right? Instead of bromine, you will get OH, right? So what happened here? First, there will be formation of carbocation. First there will be formation of carbocation. CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH2 plus. This is the carbocation obtained. Now this carbocation undergoes rearrangement because this is primary. Primary is less stable, so it prefers rearrangement. So let me call it as 1,2 methyl shift. So during 1,2 methyl shift, you will get more stable carbocation, that is tertiary carbocation. So you will get CH3, C plus CH3, CH2, CH3. So thus we got more stable carbocation. So due to 1,2 methyl shift. Now solvent. So here we have taken H2O as a solvent. H2O now tries to donate lone pair of electrons. When it donates lone pair of electrons, oxygen gets positive charge. Then it abstracts the bond electrons between oxygen and hydrogen to get its lone pair of electrons back. So you will get corresponding alcohol. So here the obtained product will be CH3, C, OH, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is the alcohol generated. Right. So through SN1 pathway, that is nothing but carbocation formation. During carbocation formation, it rearranges to get more stable carbocation that leads to SN1 product. Now, if I have taken any base, or if I have taken strong nucleophile like C2H5O minus Na plus in presence of ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. Now this is nothing but occurring in SN2 pathway. In SN2 pathway, directly nucleophile attack over this carbon, bromine is lost. So this lead to direct product formation. There is no carbocation formation, there is no rearrangement. Simply we will get inverted product. So the product obtained will be CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. This is nothing but similar to Williamson's ether synthesis. We will discuss regarding preparation of ethers. So this is simply SN2 mechanism forming ethers. Now, if we have taken concentrated H2SO4, that means we are preferring some eliminations. I have taken concentrated H2SO4, right? So when you take concentrated H2SO4, here also, as there is a good leaving group, and if I have taken any base which is neutral, that means it is neither cation nor anion, it's a simple system, then it leads to carbocation formation followed by rearrangement, forming some even product. So instead of concentrated H2SO4, let me take methanol. Let me take methanol on strong heating. I am taking in presence of methanol followed by strong heating. So now it prefers elimination reaction, even elimination. In first step, Br minus will be lost, forming a carbocation, primary carbocation. Then there is 1,2 methyl shift, so carbocation rearrangement. Then you will get positive charge here. As the base is neutral base, on heating it abstracts hydrogen, leads to formation of alkene. So here the obtained alkene is CH3, C, CH3. On this carbon there will be only 2 methyl systems because already one CH3 group got migrated. So double bond CH, CH3. This is a carbocation. This is the alkene generated through carbocation rearrangement, right? Now, let me discuss about ring expansions, ring contractions. So first, let me check ring expansions and ring contractions in case of amines. If it is in case of amines, we call it as Damjanov rearrangement. Damjanov rearrangements. Here also they will rearrange through carbocation formation. Right? We are discussing about carbocation rearrangements, particularly in case of amines, particularly in case of primary amines. Right? So Damjanov's reaction means nothing but deamination. That means the loss of NH2 group. So deamination of alicyclic, that means open chains, alicyclic primary amines. Open chain systems where nitrogen is attached to only one carbon, right? From that, if that NH2 group is lost, then we call that as, is known as Damjanov's reaction. Damjanov reaction. Right. So deamination of alicyclic primary amines is known as Damjanov's reaction. Actually, this reaction proceeds via substitution. First, lone pair of electrons of nitrogen showing that substitution. So first it proceed through substitution, followed by elimination, followed by either a ring expansion or a ring contraction. This is what happens in case of Damjanov's rearrangement reactions. Right? There will be some sort of substitution followed by elimination, followed by ring expansion or ring contraction, leading to product formation. So let me check this with certain example. So here let me take some example here. A cyclobutyl amine. I am considering a cyclobutyl amine system. When this is allowed to react with either HNO2 on heating, or you can take NaNO2 in presence of HCl on heating. So in both cases there will be elimination of NH2 system forming a carbocation. That carbocation has to rearrange. Already we discussed this earlier. Let me give the mechanism how this will convert into diazonium salt. So this is nothing but diazotization. Primary amines, when they are allowed to react with HNO2 on heating or NaNO2 in presence of HCl on heating, followed by elimination of N2 or generation of some diazonium system. We call it as diazotization. So how this diazotization happens? Let me explain that. So any amine system, for example, this is some carbon chain. Over that carbon chain, if there is NH2, this nitrogen has lone pair. When this is allowed to react with NaNO2 or HNO2, so if I have taken HNO2, so HO nitrogen, a double bond O and a lone pair, right? So when first one, this nitrogen donate lone pair of electrons to this, and this bond got shifted. This lead to product formation. Here the obtained product will be, this is the carbon chain, NH2. Now this nitrogen gets positive charge because it already donated lone pair of electrons. Bond NO minus, it's a lone pair, and this is OH. Now there will be migration of H plus from this nitrogen to oxygen. From this nitrogen to, from here H plus is lost, that H plus will be moving there, right? So that lead to product formation. So the obtained product will be NH single bond N OH OH lone pair. So because of increased repulsive forces, there will be loss of H2O. So from here H2O will be lost. So when H2O is lost, this lead to product formation. So the obtained product will be the chain on which there will be NH, N, lone pair, double bond O. Now again this nitrogen tries to donate lone pair of electrons. This nitrogen donate lone pair of electrons and this bond got shifted here. So that lead to product formation. The obtained product will be, this is the carbon chain, NH, NH, positive charge, double bond, N, O minus. Now there will be again migration of H plus. First H plus is lost from nitrogen and oxygen takes that H plus ions. So it leads to product formation. Here the obtained product will be nitrogen, double bond, NOH. Now in next step, this oxygen donate lone pair of electrons to H plus. This will donate its lone pair of electrons to H plus, forming nitrogen, double bond N, OH2 plus. At that instant, this nitrogen tries to donate lone pair of electrons again, making this H2O to leave this place. So that lead to product formation. The obtained one will be N, triple bond N, and this nitrogen gets lone pair, and there will be a lone gets positive charge, and the terminal nitrogen will have its lone pairs. So overall, the change is, if there is any primary amine system, this NH2, when this is allowed to react with HNO2, during this series of steps, it finally converts into a diazonium system. So that's why this is called diazotization reaction. So whatever may be the reagent, it finally leads to formation of N triple bond N plus, or simply we write as N2 plus. We call this as diazotization. So here there will be diazotization. So you need to remember this. When primary amines are allowed to react with HNO2 on heating, or NaNO2 in presence of HCl on heating, diazotization occur. After this diazotization, loss of N2 will be the driving force. Loss of N2 will be the driving force, either because of heating, or if it is present over a phenyl system, so room temperature is sufficient. Now here this lead to formation of carbocation. Here there will be the carbocation formation. After getting this carbocation, due to presence of water, again here oxygen donate lone pair of electrons, getting positive charge, and it abstract bonded electrons between O and H, to regain its lone pair of electrons and leaving H plus. So when this H plus is lost, this lead to product formation. Here the obtained product is alcohol, right? Instead of this, there is possibility for ring contraction. Instead of this, there will be possibility for a ring contraction. When there is ring contraction, it leads to, because of this ring contraction, that leads to cyclopropyl carbocation. When this got shifted here, you will get positive charge over this carbon. So you will get cyclopropyl carbocation. Already we discussed among carbocations, cyclopropyl carbocations are more stable because of bent bond, or we call it as a dancing resonance, right? So this cyclopropyl carbocations are more stable because of dancing resonance, or we call it as due to bent bond. Now this is allowed to react with H2O followed by loss of H plus ions, Now you will get respective product. So the obtained product will be alcohol here. So here, which is major product means formation of OH group on cyclopropyl group is major product, because it is leading to the formation of more stable carbocation. So this is the major product obtained, right? So this happened due to ring contraction. This is what we call it as Demjanous reaction. A primary amine is losing NH2 group, forming a carbocation. After forming that carbocation, there may be either ring expansion or ring contraction based upon the type of substrate we have taken. So let me see a ring expansion case in the same Demjanous reaction. Let me check that. So let me go for another example. So I have taken a cyclobutyl system and a methylamine system over it. So cyclobutyl amine, aminomethane or methylamine, cyclobutyl methylamine. Now this is allowed to react with NaNO2 in presence of HCl followed by heating. Already we discussed it. So when we have used HNO2 or NaNO2 in presence of HCl on heating, what happened? Diazotization occur. Diazotization reaction means that NH2 will now convert into N triple bond N plus, which on heating loses N2. So finally leading to the formation of carbocation. That's what we have already discussed. The final product will be a carbocation here. That's what we have discussed earlier. If there is any NH2 group, if it is allowed to react with HNO2 or NaNO2 in presence of HCl, final product will be N triple bond N, a positive charge, which on heating, here we have seen that one on heating leads to loss of nitrogen, forming a carbocation. So here directly we have taken all the steps, so forming a carbocation. Now this carbocation always prefer for ring expansion. It always prefer ring expansion. So there will be a ring expansion here. So why ring expansion is preferred means to get a relaxation in ring string. So this is how the bond shifts. When the bond is shifted, you will get a positive charge over this carbon. So you will get a 5-membered ring and a positive charge here. So you will get a 5-membered ring with a positive charge here over this position. Right. So this is nothing but ring expansion, forming a more stable carbocation, secondary carbocation which is more stable. So earlier it is a primary carbocation. During ring expansion it forms a secondary carbocation as well as relaxation ring strain is observed. Right. Now if this is allowed to react with H2O, if this is allowed to react with H2O, this oxygen donate lone pair of electrons followed by loss of H plus leads to formation of alcohol. Or if I have taken elimination, this is nothing but SN1 pathway. Now this is nothing but E1 pathway. If you are getting this one, this lead to formation of product that is through SN1 pathway. Now this lead to product formation that is through E1 pathway. So there is always competition between SN1 and E1, right? So here this lead to formation of product. So this is the product. Based on the temperature provided, E1 or SN1 prefer to dominate. So if you don't heat it, SN1 is the major product. On heating, E1 is the major product. The same thing is followed by product formation here. Of course, the products obtained here will be minor products. So when it is allowed to react with H2O followed by loss of H plus ions, leads to primary alcohol. Or if there is loss of H plus, similar to E1 elimination, here also there must be loss of H plus from beta hydrogen, from either this carbon or the other carbon. So loss of beta hydrogen leading to product formation. Here also loss of beta hydrogen leading to product formation. So this is it. So here it prefers to form 4 products. So in this case 4 types of products are observed. 4 types of products. Always rearrangement products are major. Rearrangement products are major. That means by ring expansion the products obtained will be major in quantity. So whether you need to check whether you have preferred elimination or substitution. So as I am heating, definitely it leads to elimination products. Right? When I provide sufficient amount of water, it leads to substitution product. Right? Now, when I have taken a methyl system over cyclopropyl, it leads to 4 types of products. If that carbon is absent, if we have directly amine over the cyclobutyl system, then that lead to only 2 types of products formation. Here these are the 2 types of products obtained. Right? Here, whereas the earlier case you have only 2 possibilities, now you have these are the final ones. Right? So here it prefers ring expansion, earlier it preferred ring contraction. Right. Now let me take some other examples where there is ring expansions or ring contractions. So I am taking some more examples. Where a ring expansion occurs during carbocation rearrangement. So some more examples where there will be a ring expansion during carbocation rearrangement. Let me start with an example. I have taken a aromatic system. Now this is allowed to react with CH, chlorine, bromine, iodine in presence of tertiary butoxide in presence of tertiary butoxide, right? So first this base will abstract this acidic hydrogen. First this base, this O minus system will abstract this acidic hydrogen, right? Then you will get negative charge over this carbon. Then there will be loss of I minus. So this leads to formation of carbon. So there will be carbon formation. After getting this carbon, this pi bond, after getting this carbon, this pi bond will be donated to carbon system, and there will be carbon insertion reaction or carbon addition reaction. So there will be carbon addition reaction over that pi bond. So the obtained product will be, this is as it is, and here there will be carbon formation. This is C, chlorine, bromine, right? And there will be a bond formation here. So this is the carbonation. Already we have discussed how carbons are added to alkene systems, whether it is singlet or triplet. Already we discussed that earlier during discussion of reaction intermediates. Now after getting this base tries to abstract, there will be hydrogen here. So base tries to abstract this hydrogen. Then this bond will be shifted here. That makes one bond, this bond to shift here. That makes a good leaving group to leave. So bromine is lost, right? Because CBr bond is weak compared to CCl bond. Now the product obtained will be, now what happened? When this bond is shifted here, 5-membered ring converted into 6-membered ring. So let me call this as a ring expansion. So there will be a ring expansion. So the obtained product will be, this system remained as it is. When that H is abstracted by base, that bond got shifted here, therefore there is a double bond formation here, and that 5-membered ring is now converted into 6-membered ring. When this bond got shifted here, there is a double bond formation of here, and this chlorine remained as it is. So this is the product, right? So through ring expansion. So let me take another example. If I have taken a cyclopropyl system with CH2OH groups on every carbon. Right. Now this is allowed to react with concentrated H2SO4. Already we discussed it. Concentrated H2SO4 is a dehydrating agent. First it will donate H plus ions. This oxygen donate H plus lone pair of electrons to H plus. Then there will be loss of H2O, right? So first for H plus, this oxygen donate lone pair of electrons to H plus, forming H2O plus. Then there will be loss of H2O, forming carbocation. So there will be formation of carbocation here by loss of water. That's why concentrated H2SO4 is called as dehydrating agent. Remaining things as it is. So remaining all positions remain same. After getting that positive charge, there will be possibility for a ring expansion, right? When there is ring expansion, there will be some sort of relaxation in string. Of course, this is a reversible path, right? there will be a ring expansion. This one alone is not the driving force. The final product will be formation is the driving force for ring expansion in every step. So when this got shifted here, you will get a positive charge here. We got a positive charge here. And remaining cases as it is. Then the conjugate base HSO4 minus try to abstract hydrogen from here, right? The conjugate base try to abstract H plus from here. The HSO4 minus ion tries to abstract H plus from here. So there will be loss of H plus leading to formation of a double bond here. So that lead to formation of a double bond here. Now again the other oxygen tries to donate lone pair of electrons to H plus followed by loss of water in presence of H2SO4, because already H2SO4 is regenerated. This oxygen tries to donate lone pair of electrons. Finally this H2O will be lost. So in presence of H plus, H2O is lost, again forming a carbocation. So the obtained carbocation is there is a formation of carbocation here. This remains as it is. This CH2OH remains as it is. Now again there is possibility for ring expansion. When there is ring expansion here, that lead to formation of 5-membered ring. Here there is a ring expansion. Now again there is a ring expansion. This lead to formation of a 5-membered ring. When that happens, you will get a positive charge over this carbon. So this CH2OH remained as it is. This group remained as it is. There is a pi bond formation here. When this got shifted here, there will be a positive charge generation over this carbon, right? Now again there will be abstraction of H plus, similar to the earlier case. So when H plus is lost by conjugate base, that leads to formation of a double bond, which is in conjugation with already the existing double bond. So this is the 5-membered ring. Already there is a double bond here. Here the second double bond generated, remaining CH2OH group. Again in presence of H plus, there will be loss of H2O, forming a carbocation. This is the 5-membered ring system. Double bond, double bond. You got a carbocation here. Again this lead to a ring expansion. Due to a ring expansion, now it leads to formation of a 6-membered. So now you got a 6-membered, having a double bond here, double bond here. The ring expansion happened here. This bond got shifted here, right? So that leads to formation of a carbocation. So there will be formation of positive charge here. Again there will be loss of H plus. After losing that H plus, After losing that H plus, it leads to formation of a another bond. That means finally you got benzene. Formation of the final product, that is benzene, is the driving force, because you are getting more stable product, right? Aromatic product. That's how ring expansion occurred simultaneously, right? Let me check another example. If you have taken any ketone, a cyclic ketone, I have taken a cyclic ketone, followed by reaction with CH2N2 in presence of sunlight. CH2N2 in presence of sunlight, already we discussed, this lead to formation of a carbene, right? Of course, maybe a singlet carbene, so we don't care about it. So we are getting a carbene. Now this pi bond undergoes homolytic cleavage, forming a radical here and a radical here. So the obtained product will be that carbene go and attack over the radical system, right? So this is the oxygen. Here there is a radical. That radical combined with CH2 radical, and this is the oxygen radical. There may be bond formation between this oxygen radical and CH2 radical. If there is bond formation between these two, oxygen radical and CH2 radical, you will get a three-membered system. So oxygen, CH2 bond. So this is the bond formation. Instead of that, there is possibility for cleavage of this bond. When this bond cleaves homolytically, there will be formation of radical on these two carbons, right? So when there is formation of radical between these two, so the obtained radicals here, this radical and this radical, combine to form a bond. So that is nothing but indirectly leads to a ring expansion product. When that bond was broken, forming a radical here, that radical and this radical combined, then it became 6-membered ring. So you got it as a 6-membered ring. This is a 6-membered ring having a radical here and a radical over oxygen. So these two will form a bond getting a 6-membered ketone. So 5-membered ketone converted to 6-membered ketone when it is allowed to react with CH2N2 in presence of sunlight. That means through carbene mechanism. So here obviously the major product will be a 6-membered one, because there will be complete relaxation in string. Whereas in the earlier case, there is a 3-membered ring and a 5-membered ring. So because of formation of the 3-membered ring, there is huge ring string, right? So let me take another example. Another example. A cyclohexane system with 3-membered rings, a spiro form of 3-membered rings on every carbon. And OH. This is a question from Olympiads. Okay. Now, when this is allowed to react with any acid, some mineral acid, or let me take a benzene sulfonate. So I have taken a sulfonate system in presence of acetone, followed by reaction in presence of H2. That means a final product is allowed to react with H2O, right? So what happened here? First step, because of presence of H plus ions, this oxygen donate lone pair of electrons to H plus, right? This oxygen donate lone pair of electrons to H plus, forming H2O plus, and that finally make this system to lose H2O, leads to formation of a carbocation. So finally we got a carbocation system here. After getting that carbocation, to get relaxation in ring strain, there is possibility for a ring expansion. So this 3-membered ring expands and convert into 4-membered ring. So this 3-membered ring undergone a ring expansion. So because of that ring expansion, you got the final product, this one, and this convert into a 4-membered ring. When this bond got shifted here, you will get a positive charge here. Now again there will be ring expansion, because there is possibility for relaxation ring strain by the neighbor 3-membered system. So this tries to expand, again ring expansion. So that lead to product formation. So methyl, there is a 4-membered ring here. Because of expansion, again there is a 4-membered ring here. Now you will have a positive charge. There is possibility for ring expansion again, because another 3-membered ring in the neighboring side. So this tries to expand. So again there is a ring expansion. So the product update is with the bicyclic, that means Spiro systems are now converting to bicyclic systems. Bicyclic systems means when 2 rings are fused with 2 different carbons, then it is bicyclic. If both rings are fused with 1 carbon, then it is a Spiro system. So every Spiro system is trying to relax its strain by converting into a bicyclic system. So it leads to positive charge formation here. This is the 5-membered ring, 3-membered ring, this is the 3-membered ring. Now there is possibility for ring expansion again, right? So again ring expansion. So because of ring expansion, there is possibility of positive charge formation here. Now there is possibility for ring expansion again. Again there is possibility for ring expansion. So the newly obtained product is so all these Spiro systems are converted into bicyclic systems, and all the 3-membered rings are being converted into 4-membered rings. So a major part of the strain has been relieved. So finally you got a positive charge here. Now because of this presence of water, which acts as a lone pair electron donor, these water molecules now donate lone pair of electrons to the formed carbocation, forming alcohols. So H2O, oxygen donate lone pair of electrons, this oxygen donate lone pair of electrons and loses H plus ion, forming an alcohol. So you got a OH group here, a methyl system here, and this converted into 4-membered ring. All the 3-membered rings are converted into 4-membered rings. Right, this is the final product. So nothing but ring expansions. So let me take few cases of ring contractions. Let me check for a ring contraction here. Some examples of a ring contraction. Let me start with the case. I have taken an example. I have taken a diol. This is a diol. This is similar to similar form of pinacon-pinaclone type rearrangement. Pinacon-pinaclone type rearrangement. So if this is allowed to react with any acid, so let me take concentrated H2SO4. It is a dehydrating agent. So as this is a dehydrating agent, there will be loss of H2O from any position, right? So let me assume there will be loss of this OH group, right? There is loss of this OH group. Let me assume. When that is lost, it leads to carbocation formation. So you got a carbocation here. Now, carbocation tries to rearrange to form more stable carbocation. So there will be a ring contraction. When this got shifted here, you will get a positive charge here. That positive charge is in conjugation with lone pair of electrons from the OH group. So when this oxygen donate lone pair octet is satisfied, so it prefers ring contraction to get more stable carbocation. So ring contraction. So when that happens, instead of 6-membered, now it becomes 5-membered ring. So when this got shifted here, this is the carbon with the positive charge and this is OH. Among all carbocations, this is very highly stable because this oxygen can donate lone pair of electrons. This oxygen can donate lone pair of electrons, making the octet of carbocation system satisfied, right? So followed by loss of H plus ions. This is followed by loss of H plus minus H plus, right? Finally it leads to product formation. The obtained product will be an aldehyde because it's converted into CHO, right? So pinacol-pinaclone type rearrangement due to ring contraction. Let me take another example. I have taken a primary amine and an alcohol. Let me allow this to react with NaNO2 in presence of HCl followed by heating, or low temperature is sufficient here, 0 degrees centigrade. What is this? This is nothing but diazotization. Already we discussed it. Diazotization. Primary amines will be converted into N2 plus, which will be lost. Nitrogen is lost, forming carbocation. So in first step, you will get a diazonium salt. So first you will get a diazonium salt, N2 plus, N triple bond N plus, right? So that a diazonium salt loses N2, right? So loss of N2 is the driving force here. So forming carbocation and OH here. Again there will be a ring contraction, because if a ring contraction occur, you will get a carbocation which will be conjugation with the lone pair electrons of oxygen. So it prefer a ring contraction like the earlier one. So due to a ring contraction, you will get a product. This is the 5-membered, and this carbon gets positive charge, and here is the OH group. Right? After getting OH here, this oxygen tries to donate lone pair of electrons, followed by loss of H plus. When that H plus is lost, here also you will get a 5-membered ring with aldehyde system here. So both are nothing but examples of ring contraction. So we have already seen ring expansion, ring contractions. So same type of ring contraction is observed in Clemmensen reduction also. Particularly, I am not explaining any Clemmensen reductions here. Just I am giving an example. So we will discuss reduction of ketones forming alkanes. While we discuss alkanes chapter, we discuss about this. Just I am giving an example. Clemmensen reduction in which a diketone, this is a diketone, when this is allowed to react with zinc amalgam in presence of concentrated HCl. This is nothing but Clemmensen type reduction. For Clemmensen reduction, reagent is zinc amalgam in presence of HCl. Right. So here the final product will be, a 5-membered ring with a ketone. This is nothing but ring contraction. Right? We are not bothered about the mechanism here. This is a type of Clemmensen reduction systems. Right? Here also ring contraction. Right? Of course, first it will be forming a radical. That radicals due to ring contraction, you will get a carbocation system, and that happens. Right? So this is what regarding ring expansions and ring contractions in case of carbocation rearrangement systems. Right? So in carbocation rearrangement, if a carbocation is formed which is less stable or unstable, then it will rearrange to form more stable carbocation either by changing carbon skeleton or without changing carbon skeleton. When there is a hydride shift, there is no change in carbon skeleton. When there is a phenyl shift or methyl shift or ring expansion or ring contraction, in such cases there will be change in carbon skeleton. That's what we have by elimination of H2O or by diazotization. That's what we have seen in case of this ring expansion systems and ring contraction systems. So let me stop our discussion now. So in next video we will discuss about carbocation rearrangements in pinacol-pinacalone reactions. Right? So in next lecture we will discuss about pinacol-pinacalone reactions. Right? Thank you.